How you love me this way? For you to give up your life. I know that I don't deserve it, but you still think that I'm worth it. And even in my everyday life, most times I don't choose right. And I know I'm a mess, but you just to lift every burden, so I can live life without worrying. First of all, Lord, you've been so good to me, and I wanna tell you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Hey, I've been thinking real hard about it, ain't no doubt about it. You're good. I thank you. It brings tears to my eyes. All the times I should have died. Lord, I know I don't deserve it. Keep on doing things for me. Although I live my life unworthy. Sometimes my shame became just too much to bear. Every time I pray, Lord, you were there. And I don't know why. I don't know why. First of all, Lord, you've been so good to me, and I want to tell you, thank you, thank you. Hey, I've been thinking real hard about it, ain't no doubt about it. You're good. Thank you. I've been thinking about your love. I've been thinking about your grace. I've been thinking about your love. I've been thinking about your love. I've been thinking about your grace. I've been thinking about your grace. I've been thinking about your love. That would die for me. First of all, Lord, you've been so good to me, and I want to tell you, thank you, thank you. Hey, I've been thinking real hard about it, ain't no doubt about it. You're good. I thank you. First of all, Lord, you've been so good to me, and I want to tell you, thank you. Thank you. Hey, I've been thinking real hard about it, ain't no doubt about it. You're good. I thank you. I've been thinking about your love. I've been thinking about your grace. I've been thinking about your love. I've been thinking about your grace. I've been thinking about your love. I've been thinking about your grace. I've been thinking about your love. I've been thinking about your grace. I've been thinking about your love. I've been thinking about your grace. I've been thinking about your love. People who running their mouth with so much negative influence running around. You be thinking that bigger, you thinking everything is cool until they realize mama didn't raise a fool. Scratch that, God didn't raise is no fool, and I say that loud, I ain't trying to be rude. Just tired of people thinking I'm a tool, running over me, thinking that I won't move. That's it, that's enough for you birds, you lose. That's it, that's enough for you birds, you choose. Positive or negative, with or without me, believe or doubt me. Either way, me and my God coming strong, so everybody pay attention, sing along. Gotta be quiet for the haters in the crowd. Why always talking? Why get so loud? Do I say something? No. Let's keep it in the church. Let me calm down, cool off, and let God handle all my light work. Gotta be quiet for the haters in the crowd. Why always talking? Why get so loud? Do I say something? No. Let's keep it in the church. Let me calm down, cool off, and let God handle all my light work. The negative though could go a long way. That's why I gotta stay positive when I pray. Okay. What? Was it an echo in the hallway? Mr. Negativity, you going the wrong way. The name is prophecy, I be shutting you down all day. That's the God who's shutting you down always. Don't even consider ever coming back to my lane. I'ma be kicking the doors in, collect the info, turning around and go report in. I know my face value on the Black Friday. God, please let me go all in. Some of these people make me want to shout. Some of these people have no idea what they're talking about. That's why I gotta stay calm, cool, and collect. When I turn around and pray for them and put them in check. Gotta be quiet for the haters in the crowd. Why always talking? Why get so loud? Do I say something? No. Let's keep it in the church. Let me calm down, cool off, and let God handle all my light work. Gotta be quiet for the haters in the crowd. Why always talking? Why get so loud? Do I say something? No. Let's keep it in the church. Let me calm down, cool off, and let God handle all my light work. Open your heart for real. There's no greater love in the world. He loves you, he cares about you. He proved that by giving his sons a life. If you ask him, he'll give it to you. All he'll ask is that you believe. There's no way that you can get from any other man the love you get from El Shaddai. I dare to try to even rely. No other man comes through every time. Open your heart for real. There's no greater love in the world. Something's missing. Love is nowhere to be found. But love is knocking on your door. If you will open up your heart and go. There's no way that you can get from any other man. The love you get from El Shaddai. I dare to try to even rely. No other man comes to every time. No wonder why I used to walk in the darkness and shows to break bread with the heart. I was so lost in it. I was getting cursed every so often. Every time I went to church, all I see was peaceful faces carried off in coffins. I approached them with caution. Took one last look at their face and I lost it. Feeling lost and exhausted. Had my head all mixed up. I couldn't see the bigger picture. I never knew what the love of the Lord really felt like till I found peace in the scriptures and the fact that He's with us. Got me thinking to myself, man, who could be against us? From the breath of life to the death of Christ, He had it all planned out when He picked us. So don't judge me. I'm not saying that I'm perfect. I'm praying that I make it to the harvest. If I walk at night and I'm talking right, then it's really all about what my heart is. But regardless, seems like giving everything over to the Lord is the hardest. When I let go and let God get involved and it all works out so marvelous. In the end, I can look back on all this. Everything happened for a reason. Just read Romans through Ephesians. You'll see why I believe them. So I need them.
You're listening to Spotlight of Columbus every Monday from 6 to 8. You're listening to Spotlight of Columbus on WTMH. You're listening to Spotlight of Columbus every Monday from 6 to 8. You're listening to Spotlight of Columbus only on WTMH.
And welcome to another edition of Spotlight of Columbus. I am Patrice Morris. We have Capone, Raven Capone. I know you
Raven Capone. That's the first time she said Raven on air. No doubt. Like she doesn't say Raven. She always says that. I
love that name, Raven. But I always say Capone because you know.
Right.
And we'll go, I'll tell you something after we finish this in a minute. But then we also have in our midst today, Mr. Perry Jefferies. Yay! He is an inspirational speaker that we have on today. You're a multitude of things. Like I'm going to let you introduce everything that you do.
Okay. Well, first of all, thank you for having me. Really appreciate it. So my name is Perry Jefferies. Known as the entrepreneur CFO, president of Diamond Equity Advisors, a wealth management firm here in Columbus, Ohio. Also to John Maxwell, certified coach and speaker, father, husband. So we do a multitude of things. Under our eCFO platform, we help entrepreneurs and professionals create and execute financial strategies so they can become financially free and also to gain peace of mind. And our core business is really just helping people. So though we specialize in financial services, what we really specialize is just helping people, helping families, and just trying to leave a positive impact on the community.
That is awesome, which is what this is about. This platform is exactly what that's about.
Outstanding.
So what my next question to you is, with all the things that you've done, I'm going to ask you how you guys started. I already actually know because Christy kind of told me like the whole story.
Absolutely.
But I want you to tell our audience, how did you get started in being that, I'd say, free as far as financially?
Yes. So entrepreneurship it has been a journey, and I know we have a pretty good amount of time, so I won't go too far into my story, but I would be remiss not to mention my parents in this whole piece. So growing up as a kid, my mother and father, hardest working individuals I've ever met in my life. And something they instilled with me is always have more than one stream of income. So they didn't necessarily say, hey, have multiple streams of income. They just said, my dad said, always have more than one hustle. Have you a B, a C, maybe a D if you can fit one in, right? So I've always been exposed to, generating revenue outside of just my primary piece. So got into, graduated from college, went home, ended up teaching and coaching in my old high school, and got exposed to network marketing. And got exposed to a network marketing company. And at that time, somebody approached me and said, hey, are you interested in a business opportunity? And I was like, well, yeah, 20-some years old. Sure. Well, I didn't make any money in that business opportunity, but it's okay.
But it gave you that experience.
It gave me crazy experience because it exposed me to a bunch of literature that I had never read before. So, things like Multiple Streams of Income by Robert G. Allen, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and Capital Quadrant by Robert Kiyosaki, Creating Wealth with Russ Whitney. So it exposed me to all these different pieces of literature that I was never exposed to. So my degree was in math and biology. So we weren't talking about business and residual income and things of that nature, right? So I got exposed to business that way, moved to Columbus, got into real estate, in 2001, took on a position as a personal trainer, ended up being a manager over at Lifetime Fitness at Easton, and then got into real estate. And getting into real estate, it's like, okay, this is pretty amazing, right? So had a client who was in real estate, took him out for a cup of coffee, asked him what he did. I said, I can copy and steal that. So something that I do is I case everything, CASE, copy and steal everything. So I saw where he was having some success. I said, well, shoot, if he can do it, I can do it. So I started buying real estate, started reading more books, and then got into investing. Had no idea about investing, didn't know the difference between a mutual fund, a stock or bond, or anything along those lines. Hired a financial advisor, started investing. And then from there, it kind of just, snowballed from there. So ended up becoming a financial advisor in 2003. Ended up getting licensed. So picked up a Series 7 stockbroker license, life insurance license. Worked with some really, really large firms. And then at around probably 2012-ish, I think it was, I said, you know what? I want to have my own company. And I started a company called Financially Fit. And it started around then, but the concept had been around for a while. So I have to share this, Patrice, because I think it's important for people to understand this. I didn't roll out of bed and was like, yo, I'm going to be an entrepreneur. That's not how it happened. So my Financially Fit platform, which combined my health and my wealth, really came from me being flat broke. So we talked about me getting into real estate in 2001. Had a great run, picked up, 20 some rental properties, had about a $4 million real estate portfolio. And then y'all remember 2007 to 2009.
When everything collapsed because of so many of these loan officers that were doing the knowing these people couldn't afford those homes.
Absolutely.
I remember that.
Well, it collapsed on my head. So when it collapsed on my head. So lost everything. So again, I was a financial advisor. So I was making money in the stock market. Stock market was cut by 60%.
Right.
I was making money as a real estate investor, but had started doing some development deals and had some more risk exposure. When that market crashed, fell right on my head. So I lost every source of income I really had coming in. So, and then around that same time, found out that I was going to be a father to twin girls. So you talking about heavy weight on you, right? So I was sitting at the crib, and I remember my sister was asking me what I was doing, and I was on a spreadsheet. I love spreadsheets, Excel spreadsheets. She said, what are you doing? I said, well, I'm looking at how much money I spend and how I can reduce all of that. Because, I was living high on the hog, had the Jaguars, going to the steak houses, buying bottles, popping crazy bottles. And I said, all of that's being removed from my life because one thing I cannot control is what the stock market does.
Exactly.
I can't control what the real estate market does. But I better control what's going on in my own personal economy and my own personal health, because now I had these daughters I have to be responsible for. So I created Financially Fit, and all it was just simply looking at how I can practice a healthier lifestyle, and then use those dollars to create wealth. So I ran out of money. So what I was doing was, hey, if I cut this out, this frees up an extra $50. That's $50 I could save and invest. So Financially Fit was founded through that. And then fast forward to really when it went down. And like I said, our mutual friend kind of shared this with you a little bit. So went to a pretty large bank, was working there, was asked to launch a $1 billion pilot program, and started off with 4 of us. And then it expanded to probably a group of 12 and a group of 20 and what have you. And on July 8th, 2014, I got an email saying, hey, can you meet this evening around 4:30? Yeah. So I go in and my manager's sitting there and sitting there with another gentleman, and they told me, said, hey, today's going to be the last day. The firm has decided to part ways. I said, okay. So we had that conversation. I said, okay. And I remember my manager walked me to my desk, who I had a phenomenal relationship with, by the way. He walked me to my desk and he said to me, I asked him, I said, man, how am I supposed to take care of my family? And he looked me dead in my eye, Patrice, and he said, I don't know, Perry, but you're sharp. You'll figure it out. I'll never forget it. And I said, okay. So after about 24 or 48 hours of kind of, being frantic and stressed out, I decided that I would never put myself in a position again where I have to ask another man, woman, organization, entity how to take care of my family. Because ultimately, the only person's responsibility to take care of my family is my own.
Right.
So I set out, I took that financially fit platform, I ran with it, bumped my head, started my own firm, and that's where we are to this day. So it's evolved since then, and we're really happy with it.
That is awesome. That is a great story, because, and the reason I say this is because we were just talking about how people don't know how to start their business, but there's also people that know what they want to do, know exactly how they want to do it, but they're afraid because of the fact they have so many other responsibilities. They're scared to actually get into the frame of, okay, I need to start. This is what I want to do. So they stay in where they're not happy, and they're living day to day and not really living their life. I mean, because don't get me wrong, I still have my 9-to-5 job until everything else that I'm doing, just like you said, goes platinum, whatever you want to call it, but I'm enjoy. But the thing, I feel like I'm blessed because even with what I'm doing there, I enjoy it. So as long as I enjoy it, I'm going to be happy. But I know when it comes down to it, just like you said, I don't want anybody else responsible for my money. Or how I'm going to take care of my, I wouldn't say my family anymore, but in long term, you still, like when you leave, you still want to have that next day for your kids, for your family
legacy.
Exactly.
Yes, ma'am.
Exactly. So that's what this is about. Like when I leave, you still have something, and it's not even just about the money. It's to say that this is our family business.
Absolutely.
Yes. And you don't have to work for anybody if you don't want to. You don't have to ask when your check is coming in, because you should know, because you're the one that's bringing in those checks.
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
So, man. So this is going to be a great conversation, and from our previous conversation, I already knew it was going to be a phenomenal organic conversation. So there's a couple things I have to address that you brought up, and I'm going to share with your audience a true story, right? So you brought up being afraid, you brought up family, you brought up legacy. So again, I was let go on that infamous date, and my wife now, we were dating then. And I remember we had just finished watching the movie Django. Now check this out. So I remember us laying there, and my head is spinning, and obviously I'm just all over the place. And she asked me, she said, "You okay?" I said, "No." And she said, "You need to talk?" I said, "Yeah." And I said, "So we just finished watching Django." She's like, "Yeah." I said, "Did you know that when the slaves were initially emancipated, quote unquote free, that many of them did not leave the plantation
because they were scared?"
Because they were scared. She was like, "No, I didn't know that." And I said, "So my initial instinct when I was terminated from my last corporate position was to find another corporate position." Well, in theory, when the slaves were emancipated, they were supposed to be offered 40 acres and a mule, right? And that didn't necessarily happen. But in theory, let's just take this in theory.
Right.
So they could have taken that 40 acres and a mule, and instead of being on, say 1,000 acres with the slave master, they could take that same skill set, because let's not get it twisted.
Right.
They're the ones who did all the work.
Exactly. They're the ones that made.
They know how to do it, but a lot of them were just afraid to leave that place of comfort. Though it was a horrible place, but they were afraid to leave. So I said, you know what? It's crazy for me to start looking for another plantation. I already had a skill set. I had been in the game as a financial advisor at that time for over a decade. I had clients who loved me. So I said, at that point in time, I'll never go back to another plantation. I'm gonna take my skill set and my 40 acres and a mule, and instead of getting 1% of 1,000 acres, I'm gonna get 100% of my 40. So I would tell anybody who's out there in that corporate space and they're afraid to walk away, you should be afraid, because entrepreneurship is hard. Right. I won't sit here and tell you it's easy, because I can't tell you how many sleepless nights I had and how much money I burned through trying to grow my business. But I will tell you this, is that the benefit of being in corporate America is if you change your mindset from being an employee when you walk in those doors to being a business owner, and start paying attention to how they run the business, because whatever skill set you develop in corporate America, you can get paid for that skill set outside of corporate America.
For your own.
For sure.
Exactly. And I love that you brought that up, because that is I think that's what a lot of people don't get, is that if you can do it there's no way you can't do it on your own. And yes, it will be hard. you know, and you just have to find that level, you know, even if, you know, everybody can't, you know, like just up and okay, like I'm just going to do it this way. But if you can do it where you have your job and you can still, you know, even if it's part-time, just to get it started, then to the point where you don't need this other job because you've been able to, just like you said, but you have to have that healthy finance in your head too. And that means like, okay, if this is what you're going to do, you are going to need to cut out some other things just to make sure you get what your passion is started. That's how absolutely. I agree with you 100%. If you can transition, you know, your part-time passion into your full-time business, that's absolutely amazing. And I would say this too, hindsight being 2020, Patrice, if I could have did something different when on that fateful day, instead of going out and just scrambling, I would have hired a coach without a shadow of a doubt. I just recently hired a coach here back in November. And if somebody, sometimes people look at it, it's like, but Perry, aren't you a coach? Yeah. I'll tell you this, if your coach doesn't have a coach, get a different coach. Exactly.
Right.
Because everybody's going to have their time. They need that. Absolutely. They need that support.
Every elite athlete from Tiger Woods to Michael Jordan has a coach. Every savvy business person, if you talk to them, they have a mentor and a coach. So what I did in that sense was I worked with someone who was making 7 figures, right? Because the fastest way to make, you know what I'm saying, a multiple 6 figures is to talk to somebody who's making 7 figures, right? So I hired a coach and just changed my business around. In hindsight being 2020, had I had that coach, you know, back in 2014,
you would have got where you
a lot faster and saved a ton of money. Because as most entrepreneurs, when you step out there, you start blowing through, you know, your finances. You're trying to figure this out. Oh, let me get a website for $5,000. Oh, that website doesn't work. Let me get another one for $5,000. Oh, I need this. I need that. Versus having someone say, hey, this is what you need to grow the business. You don't need that. This is what you need. I would have saved a bunch of time, energy, and money.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. So I'm glad that we talked about that. Now, you told me you told us about how you got started. Now tell us, as of this point, what all you have in the works and what's going on and what you're putting together. I know it's a lot, man. We were excited the other day we were speaking.
Oh, just so much. So for those who've kind of been following my journey, they're familiar with our Financially Fit platform. And we still have that as kind of our, you know, our umbrella company, if you will, because I do believe health and wealth go hand in hand. You really can't have one without the other. I mean, if you have all the money in the world, but you can't walk up a flight of steps and can't enjoy it, what's the use of having all the money in the world? And if you broke, you probably stressed out, because one of the main stresses that's going to impact your health is your finances being jacked up, right? So they tie together. So that's still our core. That's still the heart of the company. But recently we launched our new brand, our Entrepreneur CFO. And the CFO is for Coach, Financial Advisor, Optimizer. So what we started doing is just working with a bunch of entrepreneurs. And I say that lightly because I don't want to exclude non-entrepreneurs, but I'll tie the two together here. So when you think about entrepreneurship, it's the financial piece to it. So we bring that with our background as, you know, as being financial advisors. But also, too, you need that coaching, right? I find that most money issues isn't a matter of lack of information, because we can jump on Google right now, YouTube right now, and all the information in the world. But how do you take that information and how do you execute it based upon your individual needs, right? So that coaching piece is cool. And also, too, getting away from the mindset that we've developed or generations have passed down to us as far as money and things of that nature, right? So the coaching piece is huge. And then with the optimization, taking the resources that you currently have and making that work for you. Because a lot of times, you know, people think to start a business, you need money. Well, I failed to mention earlier, I was an advocate for Damon John from Food Boom and the Shark Tank. I was one of his ambassadors for his last book release. And something Damon said that was so powerful. He was like, yo, entrepreneurs don't need access to capital.
He was just here too, wasn't he? A couple months ago.
Yep. He said they don't need access to capital. They need access to financial intelligence. How do you take the resources that you have right now and flip that and make that work for you, right? So when we launched our platform, we said, okay, this is going to be a laser focus. This is going to be our niche. And it's just been wildly successful so far. So we're expanding. We have clients all over the country. And I know we're just blessing a lot of lives here, especially with, you know, entrepreneurship and starting your own business being so big. Yep. But to kind of tie it together, you know, somebody may say, well, maybe I can't work with somebody like Perry because, you know, he only deals with entrepreneurs.
Well, if you think about it, entrepreneurship is a company, right? You know what I'm saying? When you start your company. Right. But what's the most important company you're a part of right now? Your household. You're the CEO of your household. Maybe you're the CEO and your wife is your COO and the CFO, but you're functioning under a corporate structure as we speak.
Right.
So what we teach and facilitate with our entrepreneurs can be applied to the person who is not an entrepreneur, because we're still looking at the same items. Just with our entrepreneurs, we're looking at it on a larger scale. Mm-hmm. But for the person starting out, we're still going to look at a budget.
Right.
We're still going to look at cash flow. Mm-hmm. We're still going to look at insurance. We're still going to look at investments and retirement, right? We're still going to look at, are we communicating in the household the right way about money? And then we come in and kind of function as that buffer so that the communication is fluid. So, yeah.
That is awesome. That's awesome. So you got me thinking about some things, because even though, I'm working at it, but it makes me think of some of the things that I need to cut down on. Mm-hmm. And I'm surprised I know he's over there working on something, because he would have had something to say by now. But
I'm just a little busy right now working on the first annual WTMH Radio Awards Show, November 10th, 2018. Hey, we selling seats now. We still accept the vendors and sponsorship. So I'm over here just
no doubt
doing what I do. I was in the zone.
No doubt.
She always interrupting me.
Yeah, so that's what I'm supposed to do. No, because he's always on me about my shopping habits. Mm-hmm. So I have, and no, he didn't think so, but I have cut down on that, because I know, because I was really, really bad.
I will never cut down until she admits how many pair of shoes she really has.
I'm not going to. He goes through this every other show where he wants me. I'm not going there.
If you ask a question, I promise I will never bring up your shopping situation again. I promise.
I don't know.
That's a bad answer. I'm just letting you know. You was better off not even saying this. Okay.
No, because anyway, but
she was thinking like 300,
no,
400.
Hi, Nikki.
But whenever you got two closets for shoes,
yeah.
No, that's not what I said. I said,
go ahead, say what you said originally. Go ahead. Let me cut the music down in the background.
You don't need to cut the music down. You don't need to cut the music down.
See, you wanted me to be involved. See, I was over here.
I'm just saying, no, what I told him is that I have my shoes categorized. Okay. So I have shoes for summertime.
Yeah, you do.
I have shoes for fall. And then I have shoes for winter. And I have them all separated.
Then she got miscellaneous shoes that ain't been worn yet.
But they're still in their places.
I like Best Word because she won't admit. She will not admit how many shoes she really has.
No, because I mean that's not the point.
Whenever you get a woman to stutter, that means you're winning.
No,
you won. You actually won. No,
so because he's on the shoes and clothing, and I think I'm doing much better with my shopping habit. Yes, I am.
But like, listen, brother.
No.
Listen, brother, listen. You know a person got bad shopping habits when they start buying the littlest things just so they can, feel that they got the edge on. It's like gambling. She said, Raven, I got you a rug. I was like, what? I was like, a rug?
Yeah, from the office. I got him a rug too. Like, it's nice. And it goes with the furniture and everything.
I can dig it.
Nobody in life has ever bought me a rug. I've never been bought. Even when I got my first crib, I never got a rug.
I told him we need to get the office together. So whatever I get for myself, I put in there for him too. Indeed. I just do a different color, but it still matches with the color I have.
I can dig it. I can understand what you're saying. I will disclose this. It's a good place that you're in, because I got a rug for I think it was Christmas, and it was some alpaca. And it's because I was watching a movie. What's the movie with Denzel?
Alpaca.
What's the movie with
Original Gangsters? You gotta block that.
You gotta block that.
That was alpaca. They got alpaca rugs on there.
So a rug can make you feel a certain way. So a rug, and maybe not.
Do you remember?
I was trying to help out.
He was with me right now.
Did you not
see that alpaca?
Did you see that white rug? That was a gift.
But I already know if if I was to bring something like that in here, I would never hear the end of it from him.
I would never bring it up because I'm taking it home. I'm bringing an alpaca here. I'm gonna go take it home, put it on the auction site.
Just like
you bring an alpaca. He said that's 10,000 just for that little 4x6.
Yeah.
But did you see it was about that thick? It was all furnished.
Oh yeah.
And
I got a little alpaca in my office at the
See?
Yeah, I do. Yep.
See?
My wife is gonna stay married. She's absolutely phenomenal. She's the best.
Right.
Yep.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, okay, like we have a sitting area that's out here, and then the office.
She go.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you have a sitting area, there should be a TV there, and then also we have one, like, because we're going to be doing interviews and stuff in there. So the TV that's in there is going to be showing, like, you know, things that you're doing while I'm having the interview with you.
No doubt.
But he didn't think I should have a TV in the sitting room. You
That's
have
correct.
to have
After
a
a
TV
while,
in the
I was
sitting
like,
room.
"That's cool." She said,
But how long did
"I
it
got a
take you?
spare TV." I said, "That's dope."
Yeah.
The next time I see her, she says, "Hey, I went out and bought another TV."
Yeah, for out here.
So check this out. This is so.
You see our argument?
This is dope. This is dope.
But I'm investing in my business.
She
That's
already
the
had
difference.
it. She has a TV in every room in her house, plus the bathroom, plus the
Oh my
hallway,
gosh, that's
plus the pottery room.
So we're gonna go back to the shoes. So check this out. So as we was talking
What's
about
the number?
shoes, well, hold on. Stay with me.
She gonna hurt me.
So here recently, it's been a big shoe story, right? We've been hearing a bunch about Nike, right?
we were just talking about
A
that.
bunch about Nike, right? What's going on? What's going on with Colin Kaepernick, my frat brother, by the way.
I'm so I'm
salute.
so happy that I'm so
Yeah.
happy that they didn't bail out on him. I'm
Yes.
so proud.
It's outstanding.
Yes.
So what's been really interesting is just because of that situation and Nike getting behind that, you know, a lot of folks was like, hey, we need to be buying Nike, right?
Or no, first they were talking about burning Nike.
You know, but some folks talking about burning Nike,
Right.
Depending on their mindset.
Right.
Other folks talking about buying Nikes. And it kind of amazed me a little bit because it's like, okay, so we had to wait for this to think about buying a stock in something that we already consumed. So here's a key about investing. And because people ask me this question all the time. P, you know, what should I invest in? What should I invest in? Well, where are you currently spending your money? So a pair of Jordans, and I do this with the kids. I said, how much is a pair of J's? And they be like, yo, Mr. Jeffrey, pair of J's, 200 or 240 if they some retros and whatever the case may be. I guess like if I was wearing J's back in the day. So those are like 220, 240 now, right? But a share of Nike stock was around $82. So for the amount of money that you're spending on a pair of J's, you could have bought 3 shares of that company, right? So it's not just Nike, but as we're kind of talking about, spending money and whatnot, where are you currently spending your money? Because that's your opportunity to invest. If you're spending, like I know this week, we're probably going to spend $200 at Costco. It makes sense to have Costco stock. True story. When my wife and I first moved in with each other, and it was our first holiday season, and there was an Amazon Prime box on our door every day. And I'm like, where's all this Amazon stuff coming from, right?
Right.
But she's super busy as well because she has a phenomenal business that she owns. So, excuse me, she's so busy she don't have time to go shopping. So what's easy?
She
get
just
on the
does
phone
on
and she does all the holiday shopping and sometimes also our essential stuff from the house. But after I saw 1,000 Amazon box hit our front porch, I went and bought her Amazon stock. I said, I bet you we're gonna own some of this stock. And what's so crazy, we bought that stock around $700 a share, where people's like, oh, this too expensive. I think that stock is around $2,000 a share right now.
Yep.
So again, so I know we were laughing about the shoe piece and the whole nine.
Because they have the stock market on all day at the office, all day long.
So the deal is, when we think about where we're spending the money, I know we was kind of playing around with the shoe piece, but it's one of those deals. It's like, okay, where am I spending my money? You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and invest in that. So if you got a dope shoe designer that you like, see if they publicly trade it and pick up some shares of that too, right? So that's kind of how I look at it. You don't necessarily have to cut stuff out as much as you have to just prioritize the spending.
The spending.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Patrice get rid of her shoes. She gonna be in a Forge Bliss like 6 months.
So Mr. Whiteside told me to tell you hi. Yeah, he has his show here too.
DJ Lane Love.
Yes, Lane. Say hi.
Yeah, he got the office. He got the office right next door too.
Door.
He got the show on here on Saturdays.
Oh, that's
downtown show from 12 to 2.
Yeah.
And he got another show about to start up. Actually, I just finished his flyer. I can't even remember. It's gonna be on Mondays.
No doubt.
Yeah, he all through here.
I mean, y'all got all kind of good people walking around here.
See? Yeah, he said he worked at Chase with you too.
Yeah.
See, I'm gonna be in that realm like where I'm like I used to work at Chase, but now this is what I'm doing now.
No doubt.
Yeah. Why you shaking your head about something?
I ain't saying nothing.
You need a piece of gum or something? What? What?
You need a nap. Leave me alone, man.
But
I was reminding my business.
With all the studying I've been doing, I really do.
Yeah.
No doubt. My gosh.
No doubt. So you've been studying for that exam.
The Series 7, yes.
Yeah, that's a major piece. I once had a attorney say that it was the equivalent to sitting for the bar.
Well, the 66 I heard is because it's in attorney, it's in legalese. Yeah. So you have to make sure whatever word, like you got to make sure that you understand every word, because just one word can make it something totally different. Yeah. So but the Series 7, and you don't know this, but they're changing it now at the testing center, where you have to take 2 different kind of tests. It's a some kind of startup test, and then it's still the Series 7 test, all in the same day.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay. I'm glad I got mine like a long time ago. I think I set for that.
But you know what? I know that the reason why I'm doing so much with Chase right now is because the thing, like when I started there, I didn't know anything about banking. My whole lifetime of things, but work wise, like in the corporate, was like a store manager. I've always been like and it's always everybody like, you a store manager. This it's so time consuming, and it's so draining, and you never get to spend any time with your kids. And and when I went into this, as far as with Chase, I was like, I have no banking experience at all, but I don't care. I'm going to go in here, and I started June of last year. And I just went into, because they were like, well, you have all this experience in management. Why don't you start there? I was like, because I don't want to set myself up to fail. This is where I want to start, because this is where I'm comfortable, which was, it was still escalations with credit cards, third shift, because I wanted to do this. And I had a bunch of other stuff I was doing, entrepreneur wise. It was perfect for me. And within a year's time, they've given me 2 promotions. I mean, I'm sorry, 2 raises, and then this promotion as far as the wealth management.
Congratulations.
So my thing is, I know what I want to do here, but I need to be versatile there as well. So no matter what, they can use me for, wherever they're going to use me for. So that's my, my thing with that. And as long as I'm happy with it, and I can, but I know that time I need to, make sure by the time I'm ready to be, just like you said, retired, everything, I can say, okay, this is yours. This is what your income is right now. I need you guys, my 3 of them, take it over.
No doubt.
Right now they're knuckleheads.
Leaving that legacy.
Yeah, right now they're knuckleheads, but I love them.
That's awesome. But I tell you what, that legacy is so big.
Right.
It's really awesome. So my daughters, I have twin girls. For those who don't know, so my daughters are 9 years old. So,
I've seen your pictures.
Oh, thank you.
They're beautiful.
Oh, they're off the chain. So Michael and Madeline, and it's really been cool with me getting recently married, because they see their stepmom as well as their dad both owning their businesses, and they see that, and you control it. What they say to us, you don't have anybody to tell you when to. Nope, I don't have anybody tell me to do anything. And they starting to get that. So, we started them off really early saving. So I think the girls on they're 9 now, maybe on their 7th birthday. Right. We took them in and opened up accounts. So they had to sign for their accounts.
So they'll understand the meaning of of dealing with money early. Because that's the problem. I think with my kids, I was so wanting to just make sure they had everything that I didn't feel like I had. I didn't start that until they were teenagers, which I should have started it when they were young, real young, with getting that bank account going and, them starting to save little by little and not messing with that money, because, it'll build as long as you don't mess with it. So I totally understand.
And the value of money. So funny. This was around the same time they got the bank account. So the girls would go to the gym with me, Patrice, and after we leave the gym, excuse me, they would ask like, "Hey, Daddy, can we get a snack?" Yeah, go get a snack. So I would give them my card. They go to the register and put their food up, bring my receipt back, and we did this for months. So one day the babies come to me, they give me the receipt, and they say, "Daddy, how much are the chips?" I said, "Oh, well, let's learn how to read a receipt today."
Exactly.
So I showed her the receipt, and she looked at it and said, "There's your chips right there." I said, "How much does that say?" She's like, "Oh, that's $2." I said, "Mm-hmm." She said, "Oh, that's not that much." I said, "Huh? Oh yeah." I said, "Okay." I said, "This is a learning opportunity." I said, "So check it." I said, "Baby, you get allowance, right?" She's like, "Yeah." I said, "How much is your allowance?" She said, "It's $2." I said, "Okay." I said, "Now you get that with every when?" She said, 2 weeks. I said, "Now what do you have to do to get that allowance?" She's like, "Oh, well, I have to do this and take the trash down and unload the dishwasher and shake this rug out." And I said, "Okay." I said, "So," and it already started to resonate with her. She was like, "Wow, I have to do all of that for 2 weeks to get a bag of chips." And it clicked for her. And she looked at those chips and she's like, "Can I take these back?" I said, "No, baby, Daddy got them for you." but so it just understand, even at that age,
they need to understand what it is.
Right. Is that a lot of money? So when you think about your spending, and I think this is where sometimes from a consumerism standpoint, we miss the ball. If you go out and you buy something for $200, but you make $10 an hour, how many hours did you have to work
just for that
to buy that item that cost $200? And would you, knowing that, consciously trade those hours for that item? If you really thought about it. Like if you just took that once, 1 second. I just finished reading The 1 Minute Millionaire again for the second time. I hear recently. And in that it says one of the things that millionaires do is they take a minute before every purchasing decision. Does this help me out? What is the return on investment on this? How many deals that I have to close or hours that I have to work to be able to afford this item? And is it worth it? Exactly. And that's why a lot of them, live very modestly. You wouldn't even recognize millionaires. Yeah, exactly. You would never, because they don't, it's nothing like they're going to just be pizzazzed up every day for you to see them. And then you're like, okay, who is that person? That could be somebody that's just sitting right next to you and you would never know. Exactly. Because they don't spin and go crazy like that. Yes. Yeah. So that's what my goal is right now. That's what I'm trying to work on. No doubt. Yes. No doubt. As far as my spending and everything. Yeah. And I say that consciously. No doubt. Well, I know you had asked me earlier, it's like, so things we're working on now? Yes. So for those who don't know, September is Life Insurance Awareness Month. Now, this is a topic, Patrice, that people don't like to talk about. Right. But it's so vitally important. If I jump on Facebook or any other social media outlet, again, and see, hey, somebody died, we got a GoFundMe popping to try to bury somebody. That's ridiculous in this day and age. And I think sometimes it's just because talking about death is taboo. Right. But this month, my entire outreach has really been about the importance of life insurance, but not just life insurance when you die. You can use life insurance a ton of different ways. Exactly. The Rockefellers use life insurance to create all the trust funds that you hear people talk about. So their wealth didn't come from their business, because if you understand that was actually dismantled because there was a monopoly and the government came in and broke it up. Right. But where they were able to generate wealth is that they had these big boy policies and they paid into these trusts, and these trusts then, the kids could go and get money from the trust, but they had to borrow from the trust and treat it like a bank. Yeah. And one of the stipulations was they actually have to have a multi-million-dollar life insurance policy on their life with the trust being. So they created their own banking system. Yeah, monopoly, just like that. Exactly. That's what they did. Yeah, insurance. Yes. So, you got a pause going on? Oh, nope. No. Okay, cool. But I do want to let you know, you have a lot of people that's actually, asking questions. But what I'm going to do before I tell you what they're saying, I do want you guys to call in. The number is 614-781-0754. We have, let's see. Oh, that's my niece. She said hi. So I said, what's up? And then we have one lady. She said, we teach our kids to sleep on it, thinking about and don't think about it before they purchase it. I like that. And then she also said, oh my God, yes, life insurance is extremely important. Yeah. We have Robin. It's ridiculous, but the subject makes me sad. Yeah. Because when you really think about it, and it's common sense, it really is. It's just people don't really think about it that way until somebody until they need it.
Or somebody like you're here now, and they're thinking like we have all these people that saying this now because they're like, well, dang, that's right.
Yeah,
that that's absolutely correct. So I want you guys to call in, talk to him. I'm telling you, he is the best coach. He can give you all kind of pointers. I got my niece on here. She just today is her birthday.
Happy birthday.
Yes, happy birthday, Jazzy. Say happy birthday, Capone.
What's good, B?
Oh, goodness.
Leave me alone,
man. Because he usually just talks. So he's going to talk today.
Up, man. I told myself Mondays is back to the grind. We got the War Show coming. I got Joe Show managing. I got Fantasy Island. We got the Curve Girl Show popping up. We got the Make Moves meet and greet this week. And we got the WTMH Radio meet and greet. And the Buckeye Underground Show is now officially sponsored by Macy's.
They got
That's major.
Yes.
That's the Eastern location.
That's major.
We'll be broadcasting live from the middle of their store by the women's department.
What?
September 22nd from 12 to 3.
You hear that? WTMH Radio. Buckeye Columbus.
Buckeye Underground Show.
Buckeye Columbus Underground Show.
Well, making you moving in silence like lasagna. You over there?
Listen. I'm over here.
That's what I said.
Messages and I'm sharing the stuff on her page. No doubt.
I've been seeing it. It's like
three things. No doubt. I'm over here like there's so much going on. It's like Monday is like promo day now. I done released the audio commercial.
I miss you.
I released a video commercial. I released some graphic design. It's just been
and I just had him working on my banners.
No doubt.
That's why I say he's a multitasker. I don't know what I did without him.
And I was hearing you talking about the independence. I've been independent since 2007, like 100%.
Yeah.
I was a recycling manager and a housekeeper crew leader for ODNR, Ohio Department of Natural Resources.
Yeah.
I did that for 7 years. I left that job, went on a cruise, went to Ensenada, Mexico, and I seen how they really grind over there.
Wow.
They like 5 years old selling China, the old blue and white ones they used to grandmoms. I came back. I've been in go mode ever since. I said, man, if they can do it over there.
That's why I said he's a hustler. I mean, he has so many different things going on.
For sure.
It's crazy. So I'm over listening. I was listening to what you saying, and I just did that at Micro Center too. I was buying a drone, and I shoot videos and graphic designs and do all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I did that. Like when you said, I was like, I think that's how that's supposed to work. When you about to buy something, you be like, do I need this?
Do I really need this?
Like, do I need this?
Yeah.
And I was in there like, yeah, I need this. And I wanted it.
Yeah.
And I earned it.
But the deal is you're using that to shoot videos, right?
Yeah.
So it's part of the business.
So that's a return on investment. And that's kind of how the wealthy thinks versus the non-wealthy versus, hey, yeah, I'm going to go buy this asset. But this asset is going to, yield this type of return on this investment, right? Versus going to buy something like that's going to just depreciate immediately and you won't be able to flip it and make any money off of it. So you going and spending good money on a drone where you can do a dope video of me running through the woods, right? Doing calisthenics and then market and sell that. I mean, that's a business investment.
Yeah.
Right?
See, and that's what we were talking about.
I was nervous though.
Yeah.
I was nervous.
He's still working on it.
But also too, I know we're not, it's kind of off topic a little bit because we're talking about life insurance, but make sure. So I'm assuming the drone costs a little bit of paper, right?
Not the one I got.
Yeah, he got a good
Micro Center.
Okay, gotcha.
Micro Center.
But keep in mind, that's the tax deduction for the business.
Yeah.
Right, a lot of folks.
I'm getting ready to start working with him on that too, because he has so much stuff that he's gotten that he can actually do a tax deduction on. Because he can. I mean, and he has so much going on with so many different people. All of that stuff is tax deductible.
Oh man, I tell you what, it's sometimes not about how much money you make; it's about how much money you
can keep.
And that's the benefit, and that's one of the huge benefits of being an entrepreneur. Because
I keep my receipts for my nails. I have to have this for my business because I have to stay on point.
It's an expense.
It's an expense. Meals. You can deduct all of that. 50% of that. The receipts.
Absolutely. But it's sometimes the things that people don't think about. So let's say that you're working your 9 to 5 and you're trying to start your hustle. You're trying to start your business, right? And a lot of businesses start at home. Well, if you're a home-based business, a percentage of every bill that runs through that home just now became a potential tax deduction.
Tax deduction.
Rent, mortgage, gas, electric, internet, cable, all of that. Now
Exactly.
it just became right. So now what folks don't realize is that you can actually take those deductions, apply them to your income at your 9 to 5, and keep more money on your paycheck. So entrepreneurship is just so dope if we really start to dive, get into the numbers.
So I need that pamphlet.
That's right
Because I just built another studio in my house.
See?
And then I got an office in there.
See?
And I got it I got laptops all over the place. So you said the house, right? I'm like,
everything. If you're
Cats
doing your
don't think
business
about
at
that.
your house, half of that is part of your business,
It's
and
a
you can
home-
deduct it
it's
from
a
your
home-
business.
you know what the problem with that is?
What up?
A lot of people would love that information. It's not enough people that's willing to say that too. Because it's like you told me, I'm over here like, I know a lot of people run their businesses out their house but they could be like, because a lot of people think they're doing it for nothing just because they return probably ain't fast enough, or you know, people chasing that dream. But if you tell them like, but this is a business and you can get your money back off of this, I think that would inspire and motivate a lot of people to go even faster and harder. Be like, it may seem like I'm not getting on now, but at the end of the year, I could get a chunk of this back and keep moving forward. So I don't feel like I just wasted a year taking the L.
Right.
Nobody has, like, as much business that I've been doing, nobody has ever told. I mean, I know about the gas mileage and the food and all that stuff, but at the house, it's
That's
like
the house.
But
That's the house.
See, that information that needs to get out.
So Capone, let me ask you this, fam. I because me being a financial advisor for as long as I have been, I know a bunch of financial advisors, and some of them they kind of stay in their lane and kind of tote the company line, right? And then some of us get out here and try to drop this information on the people. I do 100% believe that more of us need to be who are experts in this space. I emphasize experts in this space. A lot of cats, if you can't show me social proof where your expertise helps somebody build, you're not an expert. So don't give a whole bunch of advice if you can't do that. But for the experts out here, why don't we share that information more often?
Call in and talk to him. He'll help you.
And then also
you need.
And
that
also,
number is 781-0754.
You know how to talk when you talk.
I'm so sorry, but he has a lot of people on here that wants to like talk to him, and I'm like, call us, and I'm seriously.
Here, do it like this, Patrice. Watch this. About to kill the game real quick. I'm gonna let you finish. Go on the computer right there, bring up your live, and just type in the number inside of your feed that people are watching on. Game time. Real rap wall. Just say, I've been telling you this every week.
Just saying, you have. I can't even say it and bring it up.
You got to put it right, because if they're watching, every time you put something in there, they're going to get that
ding,
right.
So, but go ahead.
But to your point, I also think it's on the other side of the equation. If you're starting a business, seek advice. So as a financial advisor, sometimes folks are like, I don't have enough money to talk to a financial advisor, or I'm intimidated to talk to a financial advisor. Or the deal is, you have to build your team even when you first starting out. You know what I'm saying? So whether you was on the block, you had a team. You know what I'm saying? You got a team. You built a team based upon where you are. So you might not be able to get the big boy advisor over at Merrill Lynch who won't touch you if you don't have at least $300,000.
Right.
But it's a homie over here who loves the young dude who's growing his business. I got a bunch of young financial advisors on my page who are out here who will be a good fit. But so find somebody who fits where you are, right? Because getting that advice is a game changer. One time I sat down with a client and her husband. I dropped some science on them for about 20 minutes, Capone. It saved them $5,000 in taxes, right? For less than an hour worth of science. So it's not like I'm telling something that's brand new.
It's out there. It's out there.
The bad part is, to the ones who don't know, that is brand new.
True.
So like that, they be like, we ain't know we qualified.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is what my coach said to me one time, man, and it blew my mind. And I'm glad we was on the phone, because I probably would have jumped through the phone and grabbed him. But he said, we was looking at my business model. And he was like, so if you stop working your business would crumble. I was like, yep. He said, you don't have a business, you have a hustle. There's a difference between having a business and having a hustle. So here's the deal. Like, this is kind of how I look at it. If you're a business, you better be able to show me an EIN number.
Yes.
Yeah. You better be able to show me
all of it.
You need to be an LLC or some type of organization.
Exactly.
Right. You need to be having some business tax returns. This is the killer right here, because we do small business lending as well. And cats see me like, yo, P, man, I need some money for my business. Well, do you have a business account?
Not just that.
Yeah.
Do you have a business I can't even think of it now. Plan. Business plan.
Yeah. So it's crazy because that's what we look at. And how we do our lending. I don't care if you make $100,000 a minute. If you can't show me where that money hit the business account, then you don't have a business. I just got one of my guys, a website design guy, $14,000 with a 500 some credit score. But you know why? He looked like a business. The business was organized. It was LLC. I could search it at the Secretary of State. He had money flowing into his business account, not his personal.
Yeah, the business
account, and he qualified for paper. And in the way his business model is set up, he's gonna take that 14,000 and go make 60. Right? Because it looks like a business. So it's a difference between having a hustle and having a business. Because you got a business, guess what? Now you qualify for business tax deduction.
Business
can make money even when you stop.
Right. So that's why we have to kind of change our business model and why we're looking to hire and do some other things along those lines. Yes. So it's huge. So understanding it's the difference between having a hustle and a business. A lot of us out here hustling.
Yeah.
But not a business. And I can look at something 2 seconds and be like, oh, that's not a business, that's a hustle. You can't, you don't have no audit or organization, you hustling. You ain't got no business account, that's a hustle. No EIN number, hustle. Yeah. But if you a business, understanding that we are in a capitalistic society, right?
Right.
And folks was kind of tripping about, the president coming in and all of that and the tax change and whatnot. And I told folks back then, well, he's in there now.
There's nothing we can do about it. So now it's time to adjust.
So here's the deal. What is he ultimately? He's a businessman. So what do businessmen do? Push their initiative. Them tax laws. But if you're a business, you're still a lot of opportunity in there. Why? Because he's not going to cut his leg off.
Yeah, because he's a businessman first and foremost.
So
Exactly.
you better get on the boat. So whether you're doing a little side something out in little side business from the crib or whatnot, entrepreneurship is kind of the wave of the future. That's the way I see it. Yep.
Right. And you're Lord, yeah, we got so much more to talk about. And I'm telling you, you got so many people. And I'm the guys, I just put it up, 614-781-0754. You're hearing everything that he's talking about as far as this financial wealth. It's so easy. I know a young lady, like literally, she got tax deductions just because of being able to help her kids with their homework at home every night. And getting that tax deduction for that because of how she implemented it into what she does business wise.
Patrice, there's strategies where if you have a business, you can actually pay your kids and actually throw that money into a retirement plan for them.
That's what I'm reading on that.
For sure. Yes. It's available. And again, it's not an issue of information. It's a ton of information. You jump on your phone and find out the best mutual fund on, that's been in the past 10 years. So it's not hard to find the information.
Right.
Where the disconnect is, and what I think it is the
execution. How to implement it.
Yeah,
exactly.
The execution. So talking to the right people to help you execute that, but it has to be kind of twofold. It has to be folks in my position who have the experience to be willing to share the information and not be guarded and I'm not going to share this with anybody, but also too, the people have to be willing to say, hey, raise my hand and say, hey, I need help.
Exactly. Hey, don't be afraid to ask for the help because the egos and stuff have to go away and you really have to think about what is it that you want to accomplish. And look, I'll be 50 this year.
I wouldn't believe that.
You coming to the party?
Yeah.
Man, 50 is going down. No doubt.
I'll be 50 this year. Yes. And that's all I think about in my head now. What do I have and what do I want to have to leave for my children? And it's just not the retirement money or the life insurance.
Right.
I want the legacy. I want something because I don't want them to have to work as hard as I did.
Have an option.
Exactly.
My goal is to build our business to be in a multi-7-figure platform so that my daughters are 9. So when they turn 18, graduate 18, 19, they had that choice. Okay, do you want to go to school and study law, study medicine, or do you want to fall right into this 7-figure business?
And that's already ready for you.
Take it over. All the clients. Let daddy introduce you. You know how we build it, how we grow it. So that's what I want to do is really just leave a legacy. So obviously, I talk about financial freedom, and we hear it thrown out there a lot. So, but what is financial freedom? And how I kind of look at financial freedom is this, is that when your recurring income is greater than your recurring expenses, you're financially free.
Exactly.
So where a ton of folks really mess up is that, you know, it's not about having a big nest egg, right? You know what I'm saying? It's not about having a big nest egg. It's about, because I've had a client before who had $1 million in an account with me.
But it's reoccurring money to flow, the money that's flowing through on a constant level.
That's
all the time.
Right there. And that can come from multiple sources.
Exactly.
Right? So if your expenses are $3,000 a month and you got $5,000 a month coming in residually, whether that's coming from your investments or coming from your business or your rental property and whatnot, you experience financial freedom.
Right.
So our goal is to help 100 households become financially free. But to do that, you have to have a plan. To have a plan, you need to sit down with somebody. And I'm not saying sit down with me, because we may not be a good fit as an advisor-client relationship. But the deal is, if you meet one financial advisor, I've referred to other financial advisors, and I've had advisors refer to me. It's like, you know what, you may not be a good fit for us, but I have somebody that I can definitely introduce you to. And it's some young folks, guys and gals out there who are phenomenal. And just, looking for clients. But the clients need to understand that you are not going to get where you want to go without having that guidance. So whether you have somebody helping you on your financial plan, or how we do now, we have entrepreneurs where we function as their virtual CFO. And ultimately, it's just having a plan. And something my coach said, which was so key, I was out in LA meeting with them with some other entrepreneurs. If your business or your retirement plan does not make sense on paper, it ain't gonna make sense in real life.
Yeah, exactly. Even speaking on it is not good. I mean, because there's a lot of people out there that have a good game as far as talking. I mean, you think they have all kind of stuff going on, but then when you try to sit down and look at what they got, it's all a scramble. It's all array. You don't see. I can't see what you're talking about on here, and that means you're just talking.
You're just talking, and it's funny too, because I've taken some major L's, right? So I lost everything in the real estate crash, right? Real estate stock market crash, lost everything, had to start over. You know what I'm saying? Had to lose. I almost burned through all my money trying to start my business and get that launch, right? So do I have the nest egg, $1 million nest egg? Absolutely, I don't right now. But what I do have is a dope plan that me and my wife are 100% on board on. So even if we just maintain where we are right now, we know we'll have a 7-figure retirement come that time.
By that time, you're ready to retire. Exactly.
So you can take L's and still come back. And my job now is not that the plan is in place, it's just to speed that up by growing the business, because what's not factored in that plan is the business growth.
Yes,
and then getting back into real estate and writing books.
And the thing about it is, I didn't even start doing that as far as like investing until I got with Chase, and then I start with getting in, and I'm like, okay, well, oh my gosh, why wasn't I doing this before? And with them, you can get right. They immediately, if you want to,
jump right
put you right into their stocks.
Yep.
And everybody, so. Yeah, I totally understand. Now it is 7:06.
Is it?
Yes. Isn't that? Yeah, we've been talking. Yes, we are. Okay. Now we're going to take a quick break.
Okay.
We're going to come back. We're going to talk a little bit more about other things that you have going on, like from now up until the end of the year.
Yep.
And then we're also going to talk about how you feel, with the people again, if this is something they want to do, or just entrepreneurship in general.
Yeah.
How you feel like they should jump in.
How to start entrepreneurship.
Exactly. Now this is Spotlight of Columbus with Patrice, Raven, and like how I said that, Raven again. Okay. And Mr. Perry Jefferies. We will be right back.
You're listening to Spotlight of Columbus every Monday from 6 to 8. You're listening to Spotlight of Columbus on WTMH. You're listening to Spotlight of Columbus every Monday from 6 to 8. You're listening to Spotlight of Columbus only on WTMH.
Stress me out, so I never let them stress me out. I did it cause my mom's, it's only fam in my section now, cause your friends know me sticking around. I did it for my mom's, She told me never let them stress me out, so I never let them stress me out. I did it cause my mama's. It's only fam in my section now, cause your friends don't be sticking around. I get it from my moms. 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 Gotta get it from my moms. Gotta get it from my moms. I get it from my moms. Working all day long. Hard-headed and stubborn. Don't give a fuck what you want. Nigga, I do what the fuck I want. Grind hard, put the team on. Live life with your last days. All the bullshit can stay gone. Don't nobody work as hard as me. Work hard for my family. Niggas hate this so lame with me. Same shit, people changing on me. Never learn nothing new to me. I'm trying to put it for my city. Fuck, hate to live life from my mama. I get it from my mama. She told me never let them stress me out, so I never let them stress me out. I did it cause my mom's. It's only fam in my section now, cause your friends don't be sticking around. I get it from my mom's. She told me never let them stress me out, so I never let them stress me out. I did it cause my mom's. It's only fam in my section now, cause your friends don't be sticking around. I get it from my mom's. 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 Gotta get it from my mom's. Gotta get it from my mom's.
I get it from my mom's. My race is trying to keep up. Going through this hard struggle. Gun in my mouth, suicide thoughts. Smoke this weed just to kill the thoughts. Taking shots, I got bullet wounds. Write stories in my notepad so y'all understand what I'm going through. Mom told me to believe my soul, so I need to do what I gotta do. Stay real and always stay true. Like a board game shit, gotta make moves. I'm headed to the top. Pray to God I don't drop. And I'm trying to work hard and get it to my heart.
I get it from my mom's. She told me never let them stress me out, so I never let them stress me out. I did it cause my mom's. It's only fam in my section now, cause your friends don't be sticking around. I get it from my mom's. She told me never let them stress me out, so I never let them stress me out. I did it cause my mom's. It's only fam in my section now, cause your friends don't be sticking around. I get it from my mom's. 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 Gotta get it from my mom's. Gotta get it from my mom's. Gotta get it from my mom's.
Whoa, 100. True story. 218. Whoa. After Wolf Records. Yeah. You little niggas better listen. Might happen to you. Yeah. Whoa. Yeah. This story tragic, let me tell you how it happened. His name was Lil J, he was raised by some addicts. His daddy was a dealer and his mama was a junkie. He always got suspended cause he felt nobody loved him. 100 pounds when he used to get picked on in class. His father caught a case and his mama smoking glass. He started hanging in the streets with the wrong ones. Because he was broke, he got a sack and a gun. Now this before he started smoking weed and having sex. He took care of his mama, even paid off her debt. He had a couple siblings, but the state came and took him. He was already out, so the state overlooked him. He moved with his grandma, but he didn't like the rules. Either that or the streets, so he had to pick and choose. The game getting deeper for him, not to mention lonely. His mama on the corner buying dope from his homies. He think that he a man, but don't even understand. He got no education, he don't even got a plan. The ones he thought was looking out, looking down on him, they only come around when they want to clown on him. He getting to the point where he don't want to feel the pain. He committed suicide, Lil J was his name. Yeah, he committed suicide, Lil J was his name. If you can feel me at this time, you be bobbing your head too. I told you walk the righteous path, but you do as I do. I don't want you to die young, so live on. And when I die, please don't bury me in the cold. If you can feel me at this time, you be bobbing your head too. I told you walk the righteous path, but you do as I do. I don't want you to die young, so live on. And when I die, please don't bury me in the cold. Her real name to me, nickname Scams. She sleep around so much, it's like I just can't understand it. Nice little shit, she look like Roxy in the face. But she can't be trusted, steal from your place. She got a little daughter, but she always with her mom. Cause Tamika on the street selling sex is a job. I guess that was the only way that she had an escape. Because when she was younger, she got set up to get raped. She out looking for love, but nobody satisfied. One night I saw her with her hands covering her eye. Nothing for me to say other than baby God bless. Having sex with niggas ain't no way to kill stress. But she gon' live her life the way that she wanna live. And it's very irresponsible because she got a kid. Her daughter break that crown, asking where her mommy at. Grandma always gotta tell her that she coming back. But they don't understand that Tamika died slow. Sleeping with everybody, she got sick in her, you know. Ain't no help to give, she ain't even trying to live. She knows she about to die, so it is what it is. Whoa.
So now, baby, see y'all out there. Shook your body, that's your temple. You don't need no man to make you feel good. Keep your head, be careful, this can happen to you.
If you can feel me at this time, you be bobbing your head too. I told you walk the righteous path, but you do as I do. I don't want you to die young, so live on. And when I die, please don't bury me in the cold. If you can feel me at this time, you be bobbing your head too. I told you walk the righteous path, but you do as I do. I don't want you to die young, so live on. And when I die, please don't bury me in the cold.
Fox, you come with me.
No way, no way, no way, no way, no way, no way. Ain't no way the devil come. Let's say like this. No way, no way, no way, no way, no way, no way. Ain't no way the devil say like.
Yeah, he tells me I ain't worth a penny. Maybe that's why no one will defend me. Many hate, few and very few really feel me. What's that devil? Go and get the Henny. Or the other bottle with tonic. Pressure in my brain, maybe that's why Pops is an alcoholic. So I gotta grow up, be a man, get down, speak up on the summer, so we'll never ever be up on it. Oh, when all the hypochondriacs and all the hypocrites and all the smart actors are just a little bit. Get together, formulate a plot, thinking God's not hearing it. Come on, man, not a little bit. That's when I know the devil's a word. Cause I know what this many people got hit from the church or feel where your man's at. But can't play cause when you look, there's nothing but nubs or his hands at. See, when I walked, it was the nice, then it's up to Christ, saying that he paid the price. Then I saw the light, it was shining bright, single candlestick, dark room, man, with the candlelight. But I keep on writing till I bring light. Keep the pen and pad, that's the only other way, right? Keep the big picture in sight, wrap the fingers all the way around, keep your whole hand to the sight. See, the devil thought he had a plan. Yeah. See, the devil thought he had my hand. Got him through every which way to a fake promised land that he never made with him. He stepped in sink of sand. Yeah. See, it's never okay to be in the same place. Cause you never awake. Then it's too late to try to replace what's already been placed. That's why you gotta turn around, stand up and say, turn that one night. 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 Let's say it like this. No way, no way, no way, no way, no way, no way. Ain't no way the devil come. Let's say it like this. No way, no way, no way, no way, no way, no way. Ain't no way the devil come. Say like.
Now I'm about to take it up to another level. Tell the truth, the whole truth about the devil. He's the first one to spread lies, break ties, first one to make a mother cry. I don't know why, but I do know that God saved me. Had me follow that long straight and never ever since I was a baby. The devil tried to persuade me, drove me crazy. Stop loving God, boy, please, you couldn't pay me. Oh, now I'm about to tell her like it is, and the parents and the kids get the same type of message. No question, see the devil hates positivity. Drink it all up, call your lemonade, leave you empty. Now here's a new way. Okay, to tell the devil no way. Jose, you gotta educate your mind all the time, otherwise you'll be the blind man sitting in the movie. Only a percent of y'all will get it. Only a percent of y'all will be with it. Are you with it? Cause the devil come up with your head and he ain't stopping. I told you before, hit your body, leave you rocking. We in the manhole. It's so dark you can see the videos of the gorillas of the Congo. That's why you can't listen though. But some of y'all folks out there don't want to hear me though. See, the devil thought he had a plan. Yeah. See, the devil thought he had my hand. Got me through every which way to a fake promised land that he never made with him. He stepped in sink of sand. Yeah. See, it's never okay to be in the same place, cause you never will wait. Then it's too late to try to replace what's already been placed. That's why you gotta turn around and stand up and say, turn that on night. 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 Turn them on night. Let's say it like this. No way, no way, no way, no way, no way, no way. Ain't no way the devil come. Let's say it like this. No way, no way, no way, no way, no way, no way. Ain't no way the devil coming with the same lie.
Face of a cow in the back of his head as he run from the back. This freak gets deep when you ain't got a pattern. When you're high horse, till I remove your saddle. In the grass and the snake that grab. So I got the juice by the punch bowl. Money car when they car roll. Dollar signs with no soul. In the winner's circle, cause I loopholes. In love with Nikes, they do anything for checks. Bodybuilders, how they ask about your reps on the set. I've been making moves like I got nothing left to lose. Big red dog, got some more blues clue. Killing super when they about to shoot. Your face to feed if you fit the shoot. Tryna put in work like an interview. Talking beef for feeling like a barbecue. Doug, same grave all falling too. Couple chicks all in the coop. Till a fox get let in the hen house. Raise a 9 while letting 10 out. No change when it register, homie just checked out. Highway, your life just had to change routes. Day in the life of the jungle, hair long Rapunzel. Everybody went to shop a fumble, walk the walk but stumble. You trip and tumble on the humble pages of virtue, but father time really sun you. Mother nature nurture survival, what if it is running the game? I put your brand story in my life, trying to take this like a leap. God bless me like a sneeze in a cathedral, or baptisms in a steeple. 12 opportunity looking up through the people. Say you got drive, but they got repo. Your drugs got repo. Well, I got the juice by the punch bowl. Money call when they call roll. Dollar signs up in your soul. When the winner's circle, cause I'm loophole. Said I got the juice by the punch bowl. Money call when they call roll. Dollar signs up in your soul. When the winner's circle, cause I'm loophole. It's out of the chest like target employees. We try and put in work, they target employees. Black men in the concrete, jungle in danger. Walk out house in danger. Police ask where you going. I told me don't talk to strangers. Toe tag, John Doe, no name you. Black men life so dangerous. Treat you like new clothes and hang you. Strange, food swinging. Swing. Like little kids in the park, they tell me sounds and put me in that money talk. Get on the road, the rich be setting the road life. So what to do? Red and blue, chased by blue and red. Man in blue, see us, they see in red. Got shot, my red, the rights never red. Misunderstood, you not be said, I see the flag. Do not pledge, take his knee. See me fight, graduation, get on stage, see my piece. Drop the mic, it's moving out to those on a hunger strike. We drive to those who always will hitchhike my wheel. Build with lead like a pencil. Want you to put hands on the ground like cartwheels. The race did banana clips to get real. Wanna roll by myself like a third wheel. I'm dropping lines, I'm talking about big news. Cause my life, I'm with your picture belonging in a big real life, camera action. I've been lit for a while. These shit I big man that pow wow. Got the juice by the punch bowl. Money call when they call roll. Dollar signs up in your soul. When they win your circle, cause a little pole. Said I got the juice by the punch bowl. Money call when they call roll. Dollar signs up in your soul. When they win the circle, cause a little pole.
What happened to my city?
What happened to my city? What happened to my city? What happened to my city? I don't know. Oh, I wanna leave home. I just wanna go. Oh, what happened to my city? I'm from OH, Columbus, Ohio. We gotta do right, yo. What happened to my city? Man, 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 what happened to my city? Don't know what's going on, but my city falling fast. No more dandelions, bloodshed is in the grass. Columbus artists dying slow, the news don't even care. R.I.P. to our comrades that's in the air. I can name a lot of people, but it make me sad. If somebody take me, boy, y'all better get them back. Don't let my music die in vain or in a plastic bag. Don't make me come back from the grave with a Jason mask. We can get better if we just do better. Don't get discouraged over rain and some icy weather. I'm not a saint, don't get it twisted. I got a Beretta. Dear Lord, just help us. We're down to do whatever. I remember in my city, we can always smile. Street fights every day. I was northbound. No gunplay unless the uncles came out. OGs held the block down and the family's down. Nowadays there's no rules on these damn streets. Last time I watched the news, I got no sleep. All war in my town, there was no peace. Every day I need and pray for my babies. Almost 40 years old and I'm stressed out. Waking up every day yelling what now? Gotta make a plan to change, gotta start now. Just wanna see my kids grow before I'm took out. Everybody got a ladder, but nobody's climbing. Even the realest now fake and our friends lying. Make me wanna give up, like why am I trying? Every time I turn the cheek, somebody flying. This track is letting y'all know that somebody cares. Y'all don't have to kill someone to show that you real. Look the man in the mirror and raise your head. We can't change the world until we change your head. I don't know. I wanna leave home. I just wanna go. Oh, what happened to my city? I'm from OH, Columbus, Ohio. We gotta do right, yo. What happened to my city? What happened to my city? Man, what happened to my city? Man, what happened to my city? Man, what happened to my city?
You're listening to Spotlight of Columbus every Monday from 6 to 8. You're listening to Spotlight of Columbus on WTMH. You're listening to Spotlight of Columbus every Monday from 6 to 8. You're listening to Spotlight of Columbus only on WTMH.
And welcome back to Spotlight of Columbus. Again, my name is Patrice, the host of Spotlight of Columbus. We have Raven Capone over there on the boards.
Why sound like you got a little speech pattern like you just learned? I need you to do that again, please.
Raven Capone.
She's like Patrice.
Patrice Morris. Is that better?
Right.
Host of Spotlight of Columbus.
But we could call her Miss Pat.
No, we can't.
Look at her face change.
No, we can't.
See?
And then we have Mr. Capone over there with the jokes.
Thank you.
Yeah, with the awesome, jokes. Anyway.
The awesome jokes.
Yeah,
Thank
and
you.
then we have Mr. Perry Jefferies, our special guest today. How are you?
I'm outstanding.
You have made this show so, seriously amazing.
Man, y'all got a good vibe in here. So all I'm doing is just jumping into the sauce and just adding a little spice.
A little spice to it.
Y'all already got the sauce. I'm just here. I'm just happy to be here.
You should come to the meet and greet on the 22nd of September.
No doubt.
It's going to be upstairs in our multi-purpose room. The whole station going gonna be up there.
Yeah, because we had two. Yeah,
hey, you know, if you drink, bring something.
Well, watch out.
Oh, here you go. Here you go.
He probably, I mean, what?
Okay, and anyway,
I'm saying it's a meet and greet.
That's nice.
If you drink, nice. He might like Bud Light.
We got bats flying by the window.
Man,
no, seriously. Did you just see it?
Your ADD is kicking in.
No, it was a bat.
It's out there. You talking about the 22nd, 6230 Bush Boulevard, WTMH Radio.
It's going down.
You upstairs on the third floor, suite 302.
It's going down.
Yeah, if you drink wine, liquor, a beer, whatever comes, sit down, enjoy some good
coolers.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
and we're gonna have other fleet DJs. DJ Swamp Thing is gonna be spinning. We're gonna have people talking. It's gonna be food up there. It's gonna be drinks. It's gonna be a real kickback. We just gonna kick it like we have a ball.
No doubt.
You think the vibe is getting here? Yeah. Come meet everybody.
All right, cool.
Everybody's like, a couple people that ain't like that around here. We didn't really invite them.
True.
So if they show.
Why do you always do that?
Because it's some people that you just don't want to your party. There's some family members you ain't gonna invite to your birthday party.
We talk about it.
I didn't say no name. They know who they are. They not allowed to get anybody because they whack. Like,
okay, and we also have the WTMH Radio
Music Award.
There we go. On November 10th.
November 10th.
No doubt.
At the Kings Art Complex. We want to. Let me shout them out. I want to give a special thank you to all our sponsors. All our sponsors. We got Unplugged Magazine, 3G Entertainment, JBIC, Just Believe in Christ, Nerve DJs, A Buck Underground Show, Lisa Sparrow, Xavion, HPMG, Velvet Rivers, M Graphics, Spotlight of Columbus.
All of us. It's all, because
I didn't do the update on the flyer. I know I'm missing one. Macy's. Yeah, we got Macy's.
Make sure you say Macy's.
Yeah.
We love you, Macy's.
Oh, yeah, Curvilinear Radio. We're Mary JB, Kier, and what's the other one name? Misha. I'm Misha. Yeah, they just got their spot in. We got a couple more people that's joining the vendors and sponsorship list this week. I just got to wait for their logos and stuff to come in. But Saturday, November 10th, the Kings Arts Complex, 867 Mount Vernon Avenue, Columbus, Ohio, 43203. Red carpet, 6 p.m. Showtimes at 7:30. Listen, right now you can go to eventbrite.com. Matter of fact, look, I did it and it was crazy, right? Just go Google WTMH Radio Music Award Show. Just go Google it. Because the first thing that popped up was the Eventbrite ticket. I said, out of everything we done put out there for 30 days, we just released that link, and that link is at the top. I'm like, so that means that must be active. It's so seating is not really limited, but it is limited. I'm just saying, because we got, VIP is available. You can purchase VIP. We still got a couple vendor tables left. We hit like 9 to 11 vendors, like 8 days.
8 days.
Word, that's dope.
Crazy. Like, as soon as it went out there, I was like, get it now. I'm about to go.
And also some of our guests, they were just like the minute they heard about it, we want to be a part of it.
Lisa Sparrow, like she an author, you know what I'm saying?
She was on her last week.
Man, she handed me a bank card in the middle of the show. I was like, what's that?
Yeah, I was like, not now.
I thought she was playing with me. I was like, I'm like, y'all gonna teach me how to shop like y'all do?
Because you know what I'm saying?
It's not every day a woman hands you her
man,
her business card, her business visa.
And she wasn't your wife?
I just met her.
Yeah, there you go.
I was like,
the minute we were talking about everything, she was like, let's go.
But she was like, hold on, we'll take care of that. I was like,
take care of that afterwards. Yeah, take it back.
I'm in front of eBay like the whole time. Like, I would load that card up. Like, what you need? Need some socks? Ordered. Like, I done cleared it out.
Get that alpaca.
Yeah, that alpaca.
Cop that alpaca.
But we appreciate her because it like she was so. We had a ball with her. And the minute we talked about it, she was right in on it and like, here you go. I want to be a part of it. So thanks again, Miss Sparrow. We really, really love this.
Miss Sparrow, Miss Lee Sparrow. I know you on Patrice's Live right now. I just want to ask, did your new copies of your books come in? Because when she was in, she said that she had an order.
And we wanted to get those out.
If we could get one of those before the award show happened, that'd be super dope.
Super awesome.
I forgot. October 13th, a very important day, WTMH Radio. All the nominees will be released. The names will be released between the 1st and the 5th of October. But everybody involved with the award show, we're having a big meet and greet for the award show.
And that's going to be great.
October,
so everybody can meet each other before the show.
October 13th. And I think that's going to be like super dope. That's why we're doing all these meet and greets right now. Yeah. Like Make Moves. He just pulled up. He got an office upstairs now. There's a guy I've been working closely with on music and videos. Like his drive is making me go for it. You know what I'm saying?
Mr. Battles.
So his meet and greet is the 15th. His lady, she does modeling and she does booking and she does paperwork like crazy right now.
Yeah, she makes sure as far as paperwork wise, he's set.
Yeah, he's good. So on the 15th, his meet and greet's gonna be upstairs. He already rented out the room. We got the VIP, and then we turned it into a video shoot, some grown and sexy type things. Yeah. So if anybody want to come, just understand, if you show your face around WTMH Radio, it's just a good look because there's so much going on. Involve yourself. I highly recommend it. If not, that's okay too. Keep it pushing. We're going to keep moving forward. No doubt. That was, I think, the announcements.
Okay. Yep, that was the announcements.
Oh yeah, October 1st. I'm Not Finished the Mixtape Part 2. My project comes out October 1st at midnight. Word.
And November 8th, they're having me a birthday party here too, but I don't know what they're doing yet. But I just want to make sure I put that out there.
True. That's part of the announcements.
That's part of the announcements.
Indeed. She's going to get like 42 Subway coupon gifts.
She can go. That's stuff I got to deal with this one.
No doubt.
That's just what I got to deal with.
Because you see how she just trying to throw a party on.
Right. Oh, right. I have to have a radio party too.
What's the day of your actual birthday, Patrice?
November 8th. That's Thursday. Yeah.
We're going to take you out to Rosie O'Grady's.
Oh. Want to go no Rosie O'Grady's.
What's wrong? We can run out the whole spot.
Rosie used to go hard.
It still do.
Do they still go hard?
Yeah.
I remember back then.
If anybody want a woman and you want somebody to really love you,
no.
go to Rosie's.
Okay, and we are back. And we are back. Hi.
That's so back. Why when I go to say something, you trying to cut me off?
Because you go left.
It's Rosie. Everybody know Rosie's. You go there to find somebody.
Go left. Not it. No,
we're not talking about you. We're talking about somebody who needs somebody. You go there.
Over you.
But I'm not. Listen, we can have a poll on this. I bet you I'm gonna win.
I don't care about no poll.
Hey, we shout out Rosie O'Grady. Shout out to ABC Liquor Store who make everything possible from Rosie's to 161. We just want to make sure everybody have a good time and find what they want. We have to give back to everybody.
Mm-hmm. Right? Yeah.
No doubt.
Okay. Anyway.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Perry.
What up? There?
Now we are what I want to discuss with you now.
Yep.
Okay, is what you have going on and what you have planned for the rest of the year.
Yeah. So as far as our company, just really growth and expansion, right? So we took some time where we pumped the brakes. What we did is kind of really just pump the brakes and reevaluate where our business was. Hire some coaches, some consultants, emerge into a network of other entrepreneurs who are out here moving and grooving, not just talking about it. And now just taking the business to the next level. So we got to make a couple hires here before the end of the year. And our goal, that's kind of what our goal with the business. But ultimately, we need to grow so we're able to help more people. So there's only so many hours in a day. I can only talk to so many people during the day. So because we really have this strong mission that we want to help, 100 households become financially free and gain peace of mind. And ultimately that comes from having a solid financial plan. So whether that's, the plan around their finances as their business, coming in as their CFO, or whether that's partnering up with, with a husband-wife couple or a single couple or whoever the case may be, but just people who are just serious about their money. So we're just growth and expansion. So we're going to finish the year off strong. September, like we mentioned, is Life Insurance Awareness Month. So we're going to keep on sharing that message here for the end of the month. And to get into October and just, educate as many people as possible. And we're going to have a focus on tax deductions and retirement planning before the end of the year. And then go into 2019, fully staffed and just ready to help as many people as possible. And
I'm going to take a step back real quick because we had some more people that just actually came on.
Sure.
Let's let them know who you are.
Yeah, no doubt.
And because a lot, they're like, what is he talking about? No doubt. So we still got the ones that's on here like, oh, this is good, but we want to make sure that we know who we're talking about.
For sure. So for the new people jumping on here with us, my name's Perry Jefferies. I'm known as the Entrepreneur CFO. That's coach, financial advisor, optimization expert, president of Diamond Equity Advisors, a wealth management firm here in Columbus, Ohio. And as I said earlier, when I introduced myself, a father of beautiful twin girls who are 9, Mike and Maddie, big shout out.
Beautiful girls.
And recently celebrated my 1-year anniversary with my lovely wife, Sarah. Big shout out to Sarah. She makes everything run smooth for the house. And that's who we are. So I founded a company called Financially Fit back around 2010 and kind of launched that around 2012. And our goal is just to really help people bridge that gap between health and wealth. So fully licensed financial advisor, Series 7, Series 66, life, health, and annuities licenses, a bunch of other designations that people probably don't care about. But so in short, I'm official. And also in addition to that, I'm a certified John Maxwell coach, speaker and coach. And last but not least, partner up with the Damon John from the Shark Tank and Fubu, and one of his brand ambassadors with his latest book release. Yeah. So that's what we do. So we kind of said it earlier, Patrice, is though our focus is financial intelligence, our goal is just to help people. And we realize that really to help people with their finances, we need to help them with their mindset as well. So a focus on entrepreneurs, but we work with people who are serious.
And then so you think about it is, if you can have a job that you love, that you're helping people, that's the ultimate. Yeah. I think because it's just not something that you're enjoying, but you're actually, seeing, because you see the outcome of that all the time. All the time, from where they started to where they are, and you told the story. So I know that's like a huge accomplishment for you. Yeah. Now, I know we just kind of touched base on it before, but for anyone, and not just with what we're doing, but if they have that passion for something and they want to start it, what kind of advice would you give them to start their business? Yeah, so I had this conversation with a group over at Ohio State. I did a keynote speech for them a couple months ago, and it was a group of students graduating from an entrepreneurship course, if you will. And what I shared with them is that entrepreneurship is not something you do. You don't do entrepreneurship. You become entrepreneurship, right? Because it's a mindset. So for the person, to your point, Patrice, the person who's looking to start their business, one, you got to kind of get your head wrapped around, get your mindset correct. And to do that, you have to make sure that you're feeding it with the right information. So be conscious of what you're reading. Be conscious of who you're talking to. Talk to people who are successful. Don't talk to broke cats about starting your business, because all they can tell you about is being broke. So that's what you don't want. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Talk to people who are further along the game than you are. And that requires some humility. But after we kind of get our head wrapped around that and kind of get into the logistics of business, entrepreneurship and starting a business is pretty simple. Identify a problem and become the solution. If you look at any business model out there, you won't be able to show me one that hasn't done this. What is the problem? We became a solution. Right. And to stay relevant, you want to make sure that you're staying kind of ahead of that curve, if you will. Right. So anything. So how did this ink pen, person who did, created ink pens, what people got tired of dealing with, feathers and ink. Exactly. Right. So identify a problem, become a solution. And when you can become the solution, become the go-to solution for a problem, then, the sky's the limit. You can do whatever you want to do. Now, Capone, I'm going to come to you now.
I just highly agree with that, because
that's what I was going to ask you. What are you kind of questions you have?
It ain't even a question. Like, kind of nailed it, because I figured out my own kind of algorithm to create a service for the underdog.
No doubt.
So it's hard to get people to bite and pay for something and jump on board to something that they've been doing. Like, I've been doing this. I shouldn't have to do this. I shouldn't have to do this. Right. So I created it to be like, all right, who the underdog? Who don't have a budget but can get a budget? Yeah. So people out here charging $300, $400, $500, $600, $700. I got the same camera. You got $150. Come on, let's work. Let's work. Because I understood that I can get $300 from you one time and then wait 7 months, or I can get $100 from you every 4 weeks.
No doubt.
To have that residual coming in.
Yeah, because plus it's the experience.
Absolutely.
Because the higher the catalog gets, the easier the money comes. Because right now, I say I'm in the top 10 of people in Ohio to call for any kind of business. That's a good number for me.
That's a great number.
Because it's so much, it's like everything's oversaturated. Yep. But the funny part is people still settling for, the little stuff. That's okay, because you're going to learn. But remember, there was people out there like, he charged you $200 and you still didn't get what you dreamed that you was gonna get. Like
Right.
your vision never came true.
Right.
Man, take 50 all that, and not only will you get what you dreamed of, but you'll get a whole bunch of other stuff.
Mhm.
Like, let's work.
Yeah.
So
That's
yeah, I'm over here listening. I'm over here like,
Yeah. What I believe too with that entrepreneurship piece is that people think is like crazy hard. And what I had to really get my head wrapped around, and when I hired my coach, who big shout out to Austin Nestle, 2X. You can check out his website, Scale 2X. It has my piece on there. But I got to give a big shout out to him because he was a huge blessing to me and my family. But one of the things that he had me do was make sure I simplified my business. So sometimes we can get out here and be in that hustle mode and be like, yo, I need to do this and get this and get this and get this. And what I got crystal clear on was like, okay, what is it that I'm actually really, really good at? And what is it that I do that people see the most value in? And when I did that, I scaled back on some of the other stuff I was doing, though I can still do it, but I took that focus away from the things that really wasn't producing, the type of results we're looking for. So it's just really Pareto's principle, that 80-20 rule.
Right.
Understanding that you're going to get 80% of your revenue or your growth from 20% of your resources. So getting crystal clear on that. So where a lot of entrepreneurs jump out there and they like, yo, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm going to do this and this and this and this and this. That's cool, fam. What is your primary service? What is your primary, and then who's your niche? Who's your niche? If you are here trying to sell dog leashes to cat owners, you're not going to eat. So make sure you get crystal clear on what you offer and who actually is going to buy that, right? So that's what I would say with the entrepreneurship piece is one, mindset. It all starts with that 6 inches between between your ears. It starts there. And then having a vivid vision with respects to where you really want to go. Because a lot of folks, you'll get into entrepreneurship just to create another job for yourself. The whole reason we got an entrepreneurship was freedom. Right. So not to have another 9 to 5 for yourself, but to have that freedom piece, right? So make sure that you get in and kind of have that vision. And what I learned is you create your business around the lifestyle that you want to achieve. So I remember I was sitting down with a mentor of mine a while back, probably about 3 years ago now. Big shout out to Monty. And we were sitting down and she's like, Perry, what's your ideal dream house? I don't have one. She's like, no. I said, wherever my family want to live, that's where we live. What's your ideal car? I don't have one. She's like, okay. So how do you measure success? And and I said, well, I just want to be in a position that when my daughter comes to me and says, hey, daddy, have you ever drank a drink out of a coconut? And I say, yes. She says, I want to drink out of a coconut that we can get on the plane that Friday after school and fly down to an island and go get a coconut drink and ball back. Or when my wife get off of work for working, her 9 hour day. And I say, hey, babe, what you want for dinner tonight? And she said, I want steak. That we go straight to the airport with no bags. What's the first thing you got flying out? Maybe fly to Chicago, maybe fly to New York. We go to the steakhouse. We'll buy clothes when we get there. I just want to be in a position to have that type of freedom. Top of the crown. Yeah, I want to be in that type of position. So the car and the house really don't press me that much. But for me to be able to do that and have that and that vivid vision, for me to execute on that, I have to grow a business that makes sense. So that's how the entrepreneur CFO piece really came about. Was okay. This is what we offer. This is people who really appreciate it. And we've been running with it ever since. So I would say that to the entrepreneur starting out, get your vivid vision down, know exactly the lifestyle you want to lead, and then build your business around that. Become the solution to a problem. There's a ton of problems out there. Become the solution to a problem, and you'll create a lane for yourself.
That is awesome. That is awesome. Isn't that awesome? Capone, I said, isn't that awesome? Awesome.
Yeah, you bring me along.
Awesome. Hey, Teresa. So look, this is why, because the thing about it is, not being funny, but we've been talking off and on about different things in different ways as far as building, as far as, I'm going to say it, he is a hustler.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, because he has so many different things going on, and but he's out there, and you see, he's the comedian, he's the one that can get out there and talk, and then but everybody needs that something. So he's the yin to my yang.
That's dope.
So I do go out and I do things, but he's the one that can get it done as far as on screen, anything like that. And then paperwork wise, that's me.
Yeah, I think the best part of being an entrepreneur or being just a good independent business person is knowing your strengths and your weaknesses.
Right.
Because I know a guy right now that got a lot of money and he messing up everything. And I'm like, dude,
what are you doing?
I said, hire somebody or pay for some help.
Right.
Like do something. Oh, I got it. I'm gonna get it done.
Hi, Christopher.
I'm like, look, you're losing right now because you're not listening. There's one thing, like I lost a lot of money a long time ago.
Yeah.
I lost a lot of money. I was walking around. I was like, where's money at?
No doubt. We was probably on the same street. We was probably crossing each other. We was probably.
Well, how you doing? Messed up. I'll see you later. Well, I'm gonna try to see light before I see you.
No
I got stuff to do.
No doubt.
But I mean, I know a lot of people that's trying to be independent. You was right. Like it's hard. I ain't like sometimes it really sucks because sometimes you could really wake up and be like, man, I got a lot of responsibilities, and this might not be kicking in right now. A lot of people stop
ASAP.
They stop, but I don't knock the ones that stop. I knock the ones that stop, and they just act like they was never on the grind anyway. Then you be like, bro, you just wasted your time. You was wasting my time. Like you in the way. But the ones that stop, retract their steps, take a little breath, go for a walk, come back and execute. They realize like every day, I might take a break, but for some reason it's like real independent business people like
they
for
don't
some
give
reason
up.
and it's for some reason it seems like when you start making your wheels turn, a lot of stuff just jump in front of you. Like last night I was like, okay, it's grind week, I gotta get to work. I'd have kicked it all weekend, boom. And they say no, I made like $40 on my cash app. Dude's like, y'all need some designs. I was like, whoa, every time I like hit that second gear,
it's kind of that law of attraction.
Yeah, it's like boom. I'm like, man, that's dope. But I think it only works when you allow yourself to take a little break and don't stress yourself out. Because like I said, once you stop, like you can stop. Like, you know what I'm saying?
The issue I see with most entrepreneurs where they get jammed up is exactly what you said. It's because they like, okay, I'm an independent business person. I don't know any Fortune 500 business that's independent. Do you know a Fortune 5, you know what I'm saying? A Forbes 100 company that's like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? We do this by ourselves. I did this by myself. Absolutely not. So it's getting out of that mindset, first of all, right? So first, to your point, you said something that's really dope earlier. You know what I'm saying? The strengths and weaknesses, and then the yin and yang. Yeah. You got to build a team.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Period, point blank. So the deal is like when I first started my entrepreneurship, when I was all in and said, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I was trying to figure out a website. I was trying to do this. I'm like, okay, I need this flyer. Let me do it, right? Versus being like, okay, let me start building my team.
Right.
Let me start building my team. And I'll share this with you. I've been meaning to write a post about this. So when I shared earlier with the first segment. I got into real estate. Had built about a $4 million real estate portfolio, about 26 some odd units. Had started doing some business with the city, was doing some condo development piece, condo conversions and the whole nine. Then the market fell down, right? And I lost everything. And I lost everything, but I didn't have to. I lost everything because I was cheap. Let me tell you why. I have a client now who has a real estate portfolio of about 75 some odd units. You know what I'm saying? 30 of them are free and clear. And you know what I'm saying, doing crazy numbers, you know what I'm saying, like 30, 35 a month a net. Guess what? He and I had the same amount of real estate properties at the same amount of time. We sat across from each other and said, how many did you have then? This is what I had. That's what I had. What did he do different? He went and paid the big boy attorney 10 stacks to structure his deal the right way. So we took the bad properties and moved them over here. We did the good properties, moved them over here. Bop, 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 bop. And now, you know what I'm saying, he's sitting on the empire. So again, it's going to go back to a couple of things. Stop being cheap. Yeah. If you value yourself, your business, and your ability to take care of your family, surround yourself with the right team. The right team. And if you're trying to be a business owner, you better have the right accountant. And it don't have to be the most expensive accountant, but you need to have somebody who knows them taxes, because if you missing out on tax deductions, that's money you just threw in the wind, right? Make sure you have the attorney. And if you can't afford a big boy attorney with a $300 hour retainer, grab the young boy, you know what I'm saying, that's in law school right now. Be like, yo, look over this paper for me, fam.
Because they already hungry.
You know, so look at it, grow with me, right? You know what I'm saying? Okay, you ain't got $1 million to invest. That don't mean you don't talk to a financial advisor, because what's a financial advisor's job? To give financial advice. So if you're trying to grow a business, you're financial. So case in point, I have a bunch of entrepreneurs. I won't say a bunch, but I've seen this happen a lot of times. somebody leaves their job and it's like, okay, I'm gonna do this thing on my own. And then what do? They cash out their largest asset, which is usually what? Their 401k, right? So they cash out the 401k and they get bopped in the head with taxes and penalties, and sometimes almost paying almost 40 cents on the dollar, right? So they lose 40 cents on the dollar because I'm gonna cash this out and I'm all in. That is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my entire life, because the deal is they may not know that they could have rolled that 401k over into a solo 401k, because as a business owner, you can start your own 401k and then you can borrow 50% of that money with no taxes or penalties.
Yeah, no penalties,
and you become
no
your
taxes.
own bank. So the little 4 or 5% interest you're paying in it, you're paying that back to yourself. So instead of you would have maintained the asset, not paid taxes and
giving
penalties,
it to the IRS and everything,
and just throw your money away and became your own bank and still being able to get it done. But you don't want to talk to a financial advisor, so that's what you got. You know what I'm saying? So big shout out to everybody with old 401ks, and you trying to start a business. Stop being stupid. Don't cash out. Talk to a professional.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So on that note, look, you just
And no one's half the battle. G.I. Joe.
G.I. Joe. No Joe.
That's Joe. Like I said, the bad part about everything you just said, somebody they make it so hard for them to get that info. Cause like you just summed up one of those books right here
in just 2 hours.
Somebody need that pamphlet. You make your pamphlet, bro. I help you sell them.
No doubt.
I'm like, I want to make some money. You gotta pay me. No doubt. No doubt. Go to references. I mean, because I just think that because I'm over here thinking like I get the business and the hustle. The only part, it's hard nowadays trying to find the right team without the right budget too. But sometimes you can buy the right team, and be really straight, But get into that dollar without these vultures, and these bottom feeders, If you ain't been through, if anybody listening, if you ain't been through major L or major betrayal, then you
haven't really been there. You haven't walked it yet.
You gotta walk real slow, because if you ain't been through that, then you don't have that eighth sense.
Yeah, no doubt. that what they call it, that third eye.
Yeah,
you got that third eye.
But the thing about it, because I mean, when me and Capone have talked like that before, like it's so many people that I thought, okay, that we're gonna be this team and we're gonna do that, and they have let me down. Like tremendously, where I've had to.
I'm not even supposed to really be her engineer, bro. Like really, I pulled them in. We did some business. We sat down, talked. I was training one of her folks.
Yep.
They left her high and dry. I picked it up, and it's been very beneficial.
Right.
I was like, y'all stupid.
Right.
Because it could have been something that they did. But the thing about it is, just like you said, when you're starting a business, it takes time. You're going to see the numbers. You're going to see everything. And if it was, like I said, I finally realized that, okay, who is the person that's been around, since I came here, no matter what, no problems, no issues. Okay, what you need? Well, let's do this. I mean, he's on me.
Yeah.
Like at the minute
I put my hand up and say she's talking about me, ladies and gentlemen, because you can't see me on camera. She's talking about me.
But I'm just saying, I mean, like if I get to the point where I just start slow rolling, he'd be like, "What?" He was like, "Hey, what? Hey,
what you doing?
What are you doing? We got work to do. You need to. Hey, the office. Hey, we got to be up here. Let's go. I mean, he's on me the minute I'm like, oh gosh, okay. Well, Capone, he's like, okay, that's fine, but we need to do this. Like, and he's always like pushing me, and it's in a positive way. And and the thing about it is, he's already like, okay, I got this, and this. Oh, you got this. Oh, I need this. And then if I forget, he like, okay. And I'm like, okay, did you do this? He's like, no, because you didn't send me that.
And now you understand why I deserve my shrimp Alfredo. my pumpkin muffins. My Starbucks.
Excuse me, he's spoiled.
No doubt.
That's why he's.
I just heard it though. You heard.
But he's spoiled because I do. Yep. I mean, but I between Starbucks. But I had to stop with the Starbucks because I was in here like with a Starbucks drink every day.
Yeah, she was strung out. She was strung out, bro.
I'm still like I still go by like. Like I want Mr. But I had to back down. But anytime I come, I was
showing up. I mean, that's what you're supposed to do.
That's good.
So
because he's been there for me. I mean, when the people that I really thought was supposed to be there, I mean, like no matter what, he like I'm like, okay, I got to figure this out. He's like, I got you. Yeah, I got you. And even if he can't do it, he finds somebody that can.
So let me ask this question. So it's a loaded question because I have my own answer to this, but I'll ask you guys this, right? So to your point. it's a lot of shady people out there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I've done some real estate deals, and I lost. I'll share this in full transparency. I lost $400,000 on a real estate deal with one cat. Shady. Moved out of town. Glad he moved out of town. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
God is good.
Yeah, God is good all the time.
No doubt.
You better stay out of town.
On one deal. But you're right. So you talking about taking L's? Yeah, I know about them L's. So how do you find the people that you can trust?
I'll answer that first.
Okay.
How I learned how to find the people that I can trust is good business is I offer a lot of services in good business, and anybody that's willing to handle that business, and then I get to know them, that's who I start my test and trial and run with them.
Okay.
That's the only way, because just grabbing somebody I know, like I know boys out there that got money.
Yeah.
But as soon as I sit them down, I'm like, hey, come to the show, see what I'm doing. Hey, let's make this bigger. They come and be like, oh yeah, and they went left, and I'm like, nah, I want to sit down.
Yeah.
So I offer services, like I said, like I do a lot. I not only do a lot because I can't find the right people to do it, which is okay because I like doing them. It comes to life for me anyway. Yeah. But just to really answer that is, I offer services, and whoever's serious, and I say they're serious, and after months of time, just like I was talking about my homie Make Moves, I met him through somebody else. He needs some videos, some music done, some graphic photo shoots. I gave him a budget. I gave him a plan. He followed. We went from doing that to having a beach party video shoot together. We went from that to now he have a dinner with the family with me. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm not no longer trying to pull in somebody just because they got a good idea. So now I offer a service. So if somebody really want to do business, you got to spend with me first.
True. Okay,
I
like that.
And then if you spend with me, and then you listen, and we really vibing, then there's an opportunity can open.
Got it.
So that's just how I do that.
No, I like that. I like that.
So with me, I've gotten to the point where, because at first that's what I was doing, like grabbing who I thought, okay, we can do this together and we can get this, and it was just not the way to do things. So the way I handle it now is I'll bring you in, I'll watch to see if you're serious, and if you're not, you decide, okay, you're not, okay, that's fine. It's not going to stop me.
Yep.
So in that note, I mean, kind of that's how I, met Capone. I mean, I told you, I was here at another show, and it came in, into my lap as far as doing my own, radio station, which is, through that person, and the thing it was supposed to be was I was going to have, family, and we were going to do this together.
Right.
But, the way it ended, like even, with that, I mean, my son, he, the job that he got took him totally out of it. But it's like, not only did I understood he couldn't come here anymore, but everything else, happened too. And, and I know he's still growing because he's still young too. And, I still have to be that one to show him that, okay, even when you go, I still have, this is still here, and I'm still going to do this. And and that's with anybody, not just, my son, that's with anybody, because I have had those trials and tribulations where they're on board, but they're not willing to, wait and see and make sure, because it's an ongoing process, especially when I first started in getting the LLC and, and getting that, account and doing all of this. So, but no matter the minute I got here, it was like, I don't even know what it was from day one with this one. I mean, he came.
I know what it was.
I don't know. I mean, because
we had a mutual situation, and we agreed on something and someone out the gate.
Okay.
And I felt the 10-30 minutes talking to her, I realized she was genuine. So I was like, damn, man, I ain't going to let you get rocked over.
Right.
How about we try this?
Got it.
And he went from there. It's like every time he was like, okay.
Because like I said, I know what it feels like to being like betrayed and like really taken advantage of.
Yep.
So that's why they call me TFCP. They call me the Franklin County president. Like I really help. I help a lot of people, bro. But
so check this out. This is what I would interject. I've been where y'all been, right? And I got put on to some concepts that it's almost the secret sauce, and it's actually unfair. So I'm gonna put y'all onto it and kind of put our listeners onto it too. When I became a John Maxwell coach, I started doing mastermind groups. And I did a mastermind group, and the first one I did was over the 15 invaluable laws of growth. So in this mastermind group, We pulled in folks who were serious about their personal growth and development, and we went through this book together. And I facilitated it to meetings, and it was about an 8-week deal. And I now do business with everybody in that group. So that first mastermind group, I think it was maybe 8 of us. Mm-hmm. One of them left their job. We've helped them now create a 6-figure income working from home with dogs. We had another one leave a corporate job with a hospital. She's up and going and going to be just crazy explosive. We had another one leave their job. He now does work for me and is growing his website business like crazy. We have another one who left their job. So because of that environment, what happens is that it's kind of like what we run into when somebody gets money. So if you win the lottery or you get to the league or whatever the case may be, and you only trust your family because you got this, you got this nest egg, and you listening to your auntie and your uncle and your cousin and all of that, right? But they don't know what really the hell they're talking about. Right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But the deal is, when you surround yourself with like-minded individuals, stuff happens. So our initial piece when we started our business is to go to our warm market. It's so crazy. I have more clients out of state than I have in the state of Ohio.
I do too. Ain't that crazy?
It's absolutely mind-blowing, right? But so I went out I went out to a mastermind group out in LA, and it was I think maybe 12 of us. Mm-hmm. Everybody in their own lane, different industries, and the way we were able to build. One of those people have come on as a client. Another one has come on as an accountability partner, and that's where I get my energy, because I'm now talking to somebody. And now we're doing business.
Exactly.
So creating those mastermind groups, and I ain't talking about them networking events, where you seeing the same cast that you saw last week and y'all chopping it up and taking sips.
That chick with the waist trainer ain't work. You like, damn, I can't invest in that. It don't work.
Yeah, we don't talk about that. I'm talking about I'm talking, you feel me though? I'm talking about getting intimate, where you're dealing with a group of people who have to apply to get into a situation, and y'all rocking with each other. And even at now, another a girl who's in another one who's in one of my mastermind groups, we partner up on financial topics all day. So it's that environment. So
I think that's what it is with him. I mean, because it was like when we actually started talking, it was so much that he was just thinking just like me, and plus he was funny and he just gets on my nerves, and I love him to death. But that was just a bonus. But all in all, as far as business wise, I knew his head was the same way I was.
And that's what you just got to find, is like-minded people, right? And unfortunately, the like-minded people might not be the people in your hood, might not be the people in your house.
Yeah,
you feel me? So the deal is to find them like-minded people. If you're fortunate enough to have a like-minded person in your house, you won. You're winning. You know what I'm saying? But you got to find those like-minded people, which means you may have to get out of your comfort zone.
That box.
Yep. Because one of the laws in that 15 laws of invaluable growth is the law of environment. Your environment will have a huge impact on your trajectory and your level of success, without a shadow of a doubt.
Well, on that note,
yes, ma'am,
because we have gone over, but that's okay, because everybody is still watching. So that's a good thing. I want you to tell everybody before we leave,
yes, ma'am,
how they can reach you if they want to talk to you.
Yeah, for sure. So you can reach me at PerryJefferies.com. That's PerryJefferies.com. My email address is cfo@perryjefferies.com. And then you can find me on all your social media. So you can find me, it's usually like _CFO. But if you just drop in DECFO, you'll find me on Instagram. We're on Instagram, Facebook, we're on Twitter. YouTube, we got a YouTube channel. So, but definitely hit me up. If I think it's your text, ECFO to some number. I think I had a link on there. You can get added to our mailing list. Okay. Yeah, and because we try to drop a little something every week, just to help the entrepreneurs and even the non-entrepreneurs too. Because like we said earlier, you ain't got to be like a full-blown entrepreneur to still run your home like a business,
exactly,
like a Fortune 500 company. Yep. But PerryJefferies.com, you can always reach me on that bad boy. CFO@PerryJefferies.com.
Well, I'd like to thank you, Mr. Perry.com. And I'd like to thank our audience for tuning in. You had a lot of people and it's sad. I mean, you had a great, my live,
no doubt.
But next time, you guys, you need to call, because he's a mindful of wealth.
I don't think because of the work. Listening was good. You see, I was over here handling business, and I'm listening like,
Yeah, everything.
I don't want to call and interrupt that man from talking. Don't finish. I can watch the rerun.
That is true because we rerun as well.
That was your free seminar.
No doubt.
Next time this is $49.95 right on the DVD.
I told you he's an inspirational speaker. I told you that.
No doubt, Phil.
It is 8:07. We'd like to thank everybody for tuning in today to Spotlight of Columbus. Again, my name is Patrice. We have Raven Capone and, of course, our special guest, Perry Jeffries. Please stay tuned next week. Same time, same place. We will see you. Spotlight of Columbus. Love you guys.
No doubt. Good night.
You're listening to Spotlight of Columbus every Monday from 6 to 8. You're listening to Spotlight of Columbus on WTMH. You're listening to Spotlight of Columbus every Monday from 6 to 8. You're listening to Spotlight of Columbus only on WTMH.
Man, y'all know I don't preach much, man. But it's something bothering me, man. I gotta let it out. It's sad that nowadays we're driven just by, certain messed up